Good evening. Welcome to your Breaking Financial News. Today, we are going to talk about economy sector in Colombia, especially about the payment balance for that country. We have an analysis did by four experts in this area, and we are going to learn more about some financial and statistics words to understand better the context. Of course, it's necessary to have the document with the analysis to find the words and understand the conclusions did by the three exit professionals. Well, in this analysis, we have, first of all, seven variables with different behaviors. Those are first, checking account, that is a deposit account held at a financial institution that allows withdrawals and deposits. Second, goods and services, that those are all products, tangible and intangibles, that are offered in the market. Third, in this financial analysis, basically refers to exports where the companies sell their products in other countries and imports where the countries buy products to solve a demand in a nation or a specific community. Also, we have the factor income, that are the inputs used in the production of goods or services in order to make an economic profit. Factor income on the use of land is called rent. Finally, in the first section, we can find the terms debit and credit, that are basically the debts and the incomes of a country has. The first part of analysis, that is in terms of charge 1, with source of the Republic Bank of Colombia, where we can infer that between the years 2010 to 2015, checking accounts and goods and services have had an import growth, where we can see that the production is increasing. Likewise, imports and exports from Colombia in those years were very equitable, which suggests that as well as producing goods for sale in other markets, products are also imported that are perhaps more profitable, where even when not produced in Colombia. This is the reason for the decrease in the factor income, which is increasingly lower, meaning that income doesn't exceed expenditure in the economy for that country. Okay, as for the money in circulation, if it is greater than the nation credit, this can be tied to inflation and the GDP that affects the Colombian population. If we zoom in, we can determine that in the years of study of the analysis, that there was balance in the balance of payments of the concept seen above. Let's see what Elizabeth tells us about who has more information from this statistical and economy analysis. Thank you so much.
Continue with explanation of our report. Between 2010 and 2015, the statistics has an important variation for the country's economy. Financial account and during investment every year, the statistics increase, but secondary income decreased in 2014. Net acquisition of financial asset had the lowest figure in 2012. Net liabilities incurred in 2015 decreased. Petroleum for 2010-2014 increased, but in 2015 decreased. And meaning have the lowest balance in 2010 and 2015. This make an impact investment flow. In our report, we use different coordinators like an, or, but we use coordinators for ending elements within a sentence or word. We use important concepts from the glossary like account. The meaning is an account is a tool with record for a given aspect of economic life. And investment flows, cash flows associated with the buying and selling of fixed asset and business interest. And you continue with the analysis. Thank you so much.
Continue with my colleague Elizabeth's report, we can see the balance of payment in Colombia has suffered a wide range of variables. First of all, according to the latest report, the country's economic sector has been mostly affected during the last few years, with decreasing fluctuations, especially in the building sector and other service sector. That means that the economic sector is not constant. On the other hand, the investment portfolio has remained relatively stable between 2013 and 2015. And so, in fact, it has increased considerably during the last 3 years. And also, maybe you are wondering what is a portfolio investment. So the portfolio investment is the ownership of a stock or a bond or other financial asset with the intention or the expectation to earn something in return in value over time. So in this case, this is a strategic investment because they buy a financial asset and for long term they are expecting some earns. Okay, so according to the previous text, we use some conjunctive adverbs like on the other hand or in fact, because in this case we were talking about the sector industry, but like especially in the building or other services sector, and then just to try to connect another idea with the portfolio investment, we used on the other hand, because in this case the topic is really different, but we talk about in terms of statistics too, and we try to like understand and analyze the chart that we have in the document. And finally, we have the analysis of our colleague Alejandra. So go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Alejandra Castro, and in the last section of this news, we will see the 7 final variables in the balance of payment in Colombia. Okay, according to this balance of payments, taking into account the last variables, the figures of other investment and reserve assets represent a significant decline. This gives favorable conditions to the investment flow as it offsets for the losses of other investment. On the other hand, the balance sheets of GDP have increased their percentage since 2010, which represents higher costs for the Colombian population in terms of trade exports, such as in the percentage of the average exchange rate. But also, the growth in GDP values in turn reflects an increase in economic activity. So this is the report of final variables. Now, explaining a little bit the terms I just used in the analysis. So the first one is the figures. The figures is an amount or value expressing numbers, the use of numbers in calculating. So for this reason, I think that is the most appropriate synonym, unlike numbers or digit for this context. Okay, the second one is present. When I say that I read reserve assets presents a significant decline in the analysis, so I use present because present is a synonym of show, but to this context, present is a formal way to explain a chart. And well, present with S in the final of work because I talk about in third person, okay? For example, other investment and reserve assets are things. Well, for this reason, it's in third person. Okay, the next one is decline. Why not decrease use? Well, because decline is often used to show quality in something becoming worse. And while decrease refers to reducing the amount or something. Well, for this reason it's a most common decline in this context than decrease used. Okay, the next one is offset, the use to verb offset. In the text operates as a transitive verb. Well, to counteract will compensate, that is a verb to make up in general. So offset serves to the context in this case. The next one is which. When I say which represents higher cost, well, why? Because which is talking about to percentage in general of the balance. Why percentage? And which percentage? So the percentage since 2010. For this reason, I use this which. The next one is such as. Okay, when I say such as in the percentage of the average exchange rate. So in this case, personal example is different to say for example. Okay, it's appropriate to the context. And because it talks about the percentage of average exchange rate when I said it before. And the last one is in turn. It's an action that mentions another action in the same time. When I said, but also the growth in GDP values in turn reflects an increase in economic activity. So those is the word to the analysis for today in this news. Thank you and see you later.